the process when you harden it by heating
annealing.
Annealing. Okay.
Yeah. So glass goes through a process called annealing. Not to get too science here. Maybe I should put on my glasses here before I start talking about science.
Adorable, I think I'm saying that right, says, does streaming your art help your glass business?
Yeah, I think I get a lot more customs than I used to. I think it streaming helps my business monetarily a lot, but sometimes it can be very hard to, because like I stream every time I do glass usually, but like some days I'm, maybe I'm not feeling like, not that like GlassManCometh is like an alter ego, but sometimes I don't feel like what people think GlassManCometh is. Like sometimes, like I'll
gotta be
sit here
on,
like,
right?
Sorry.
You gotta be on. You gotta be
Yeah.
excited.
And like sometimes I'll just sit here for like 30 minutes trying to decide, like, like, am I gonna be in good spirits, or like, am I gonna be too much of a, because you don't, but it's been a real interesting balance to figure that out in life with the stream. But I would say it helps my business like tremendously. It's definitely increased my bank account, but the streaming really is less about money, and it's a lot more about like, it's just this passion I've developed over the years, and it's become like my community is like, it's like a real place to me. It's not like I know there's like like this idea of like a physical world and like a digital world, but like when I'm in my stream and I got my chat up and I'm talking to people and I'm sitting here doing my thing, like it really feels like there's people, like, not to sound like a maniac, but it feels like there's like people here with me sometimes, like certain people in chat have a voice in my head. Like, I don't know if people do that who stream and read a lot of chat, but like different people in my chat, and you start to pick up on people's personalities. I'm going off the question.
No, this is awesome. So why do you only stream to Twitch? I mean, there's YouTube and Facebook. Why Twitch?
So when I started on Twitch, I didn't know, like I had streamed like League of Legends a couple times at some point, and that's what I thought Twitch was, CS:GO, League of Legends. And I don't know how I came across the creative side of Twitch, but when I did, it was just blossoming. Twitch had created this new section called Creative. They had acquired the rights to Bob Ross like repeats, so they would show Bob Ross, and it was a huge thing. Like Bob Ross, it's kind of when Bob Ross became real popular, and kind of like a pop culture meme, more in the mainstream light kind of thing. But I happened to just catch Twitch right at the perfect time where there was only one other glass blower, and then there was me. And I quickly, after 3 weeks, the guy who ran Creative contacted me and was like, "Hey, do you want partnership on Twitch?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I didn't know anything about streaming. I had, I'm a streamer, but I'm not, the technology side for me sometimes, goes over my head. So I really love streaming, and I like talking, and I like hanging out and goofing, and I like the experiences I get from it, but I'm not so good at technology. But anyways, I ended up getting partnered on Twitch, and I just figured, why would I go anywhere else? I guess Twitch treated me really well, and I never really had any issues with Twitch. They're always, it is, there's things, but yeah, I don't know. Twitch just seems like it's the place for live streaming, at least for creative too. Like, how YouTube works, or I don't know. I don't want to go into trash talking about other platforms or anything. But
Yeah. It seems like YouTube's gaining some momentum here.
If YouTube offered me a deal, maybe I would take it. YouTube. So is this on YouTube as well?
Yes.
Okay, well, well.
Hint, hint. This is your chance.
YouTube, hit me up.
Rexington asks, where can I get glass made by GlassMan?
Etsy. You can get stuff that's already pre-made on Etsy. Etsy has mostly like what I call production stuff, which is like things that I make a lot of, like you can order it whenever, it's always in stock. And then whenever you order one, I make it for you. But if there was something else that you were looking for, like if you wanted to, like for instance, here's an interesting one. Sometimes I get people who want like cremation stuff. So like I'll take cremated remains of a dog or a cat or a person, whatever, and I can mix it into the glass. So like stuff like that, of course you would never see it on Etsy, but like those kind of things, or like, maybe you wanted, I don't know, you and your partner's name on an ornament or something. For those kind of things, I usually deal with like custom orders through like Instagram or email. But if you want to just like buy something like now or, that sort of a thing, you'd have to do it on Etsy probably.
Okay. So Kim is asking, as an artist, is Etsy a reputable, can't talk, platform after they've done the shady policies on there? So what do you think? You happy with Etsy?
I was a lot happier before Etsy. So Etsy wasn't always a publicly traded company. And then they ended up going public. And since then...
now they must grow the revenues.
Yeah, revenue's important. Fees have gone up tremendously over the years. Fees have gone up. But I think it's one of those things where Etsy really has a monopoly on on selling art online. I don't know what a better place to sell art online is, where you're going to get that traffic, like I see a lot of glass artists with, their own websites, www. But how do you, I don't know how to get all those people like I do on Etsy to go to a website. So I think Etsy is really reputable in terms of like, if you can trust them or not. I guess, agreeing with their policies, maybe you will or you won't, but I think it's kind of like what else can I do? Where else can I go, really?
So Call Me V's asking, how do you approach packaging for shipping? Seems like it would be a nightmare with glass being fragile and all.
It was a nightmare for a very long time. I ship a lot of glass. I ship probably... Holy smokes. I think my postage last year was like $17,000. I think I spent $17K on postage last year. So I had to figure out a way very quickly when I first started selling on Etsy. I had to very quickly figure out a way to efficiently pump glass out with, the minimum amount of packaging. But eventually I came down to the conclusion that cardboard boxes were just too expensive and bulky, and you got to store them. So I use a lot of envelopes. A lot of things I ship, or a lot of things I make in general, will fit in an envelope. So,
oh really?
So like my most popular things are like this Pickle Rick character, or like pickles in general. I make a lot of pickle stuff. But yeah, I use I've got it down to a science of I use 2 feet of bubble wrap. I roll that up, I put that in a bubble mailer, and then I fold that bubble mailer, and then I put that bubble mailer into a poly bag. So I end up with 3 feet of bubble wrap around a piece of glass, a cylinder of some kind, and then it's wrapped in the poly bag for waterproofing and things like that. Also, some of the things that I sell to people, there's a certain level of discretion that that people expect out of it, and they hope for, and they want. They don't want anything branded. They don't want anything on the package. So I try to keep my packaging as simple. It's as simple as it possibly can be. It's very unassuming, you know.
Yeah, shipping stuff is a real pain in the butt. A few years ago, we did a Kickstarter that was really successful, and then discovered that we had to ship hundreds of T-shirts to people all over the world.
Yeah. And it's been going up too. That like they just raised shipping, and now USPS is doing a thing where they raise shipping during the holidays, just during the holidays. So it's like this year is rough for me. It's going to be interesting to figure it all out. But
and there are companies that like will help you with stuff, but for us, you know, we called and we're like, "Would you help us ship 500 T-shirts?" And they said, "Sure, no problem." So that's 500 a month. I said, no, just one time 500. They're like, oh, we're not interested.
You know, I would be interested. I'm very, shipping is like my life. So, you know, I'll put in my application after this with you guys if you need a shipper.
So are you part of something called the Goon Platoon? What is that?
So the Goon Platoon is my, it's the Twitch community. This sounds weird saying I started it, but like it's the Twitch community that's associated with my stream is what I'll say. That's a better, more democratic way of saying that. But it's like it's just me and all my people from Twitch, all my followers and my viewers, and all these things you're seeing floating around on my stream are my emotes that you get when you subscribe on my Twitch. But yeah, it's kind of like we did like a vote at some point of like the Goon Squad, the Goon Brigade. There were a few other names that we threw out. Usually at some point, it's kind of like a rite of passage as a Twitch streamer. Once you've built a community, once a community has formed around you, you got a name for it. So like, I don't know, if you had one on Twitch, it could be called, the Speeders, or I don't know. But do you got a name for your community on Twitch? For Speedify?
I don't think I do. Somebody
we should, we should do a poll.
Yeah. So we're looking for suggestions. All those, the 810 mini HDMI switchers. They make the giant control panels and stuff that you see in